Hello RCAS staff, I'm Jim Leuthold with the Office of Teaching, Learning, and Innovation. By this point, chances are you've been part of a Zoom meeting or two, and you may be ready to up your Zoom game. We have identified some recommended settings that can help enhance your and your students' Zoom experience, as well as prevent Zoom bombing. To start, you'll need to go to zoom.us and sign in. Your login should be your K-12 email. Once you're in, go to Settings. On the Meeting tab, you have many options. I'm just going to hit a couple of important settings we recommend. A lot of these settings are already in place, but it's a good idea to check to be sure. Many of these suggestions come directly from this Zoom blog post, but there are a couple of things that are specific to RCAS. We recommend having participant video off. This way participants have to choose to turn their webcams on, and you avoid the whole Shrek thing. Definitely disable Join Before Host. If you leave this on, students will be able to interact unsupervised, and like any new skill or routine, we want to provide a high level of scaffolding as we roll out web conferencing. Leaving this enabled is like staying in the hall after the bell has rung. For student security, we recommend disabling the personal meeting ID and turning on passwords. Leave the authenticated users off because students should not use their K-12 emails to create Zoom accounts. This is to do with our RCAS account permissions, students needing parent permission or to be 13 to create their own Zoom accounts. As we continue down the list, we also recommend muting participants on entry. This helps prevent feedback loops and is good web conference etiquette. Keep scrolling and you'll see some settings for chat. We strongly recommend allowing chat but disabling private chat and enabling auto-saving chat. This way, students have a secondary way of communicating in case they have problems with their mic and their communications are documented. Another setting we strongly encourage is enabling co-hosts. With this setting enabled, you can bring in a fellow teacher or para to help wrangle kids in a meeting. 25 excited kindergartners can turn into mouse whack-a-mole, so have a second or more adult in the meeting can be a lifesaver. For the older kids, allowing the host to put attendees on hold is the digital equivalent of having a kid sit in the hall. Keep scrolling and we'll get to one of the most important settings for keeping your meetings Zoom bomb resistant: screen sharing. This is probably one of the most powerful tools in Zoom. You can walk your kids through a process by showing them your screen. The danger comes in letting anyone share. We recommend enabling host-only sharing, but there may be occasions when you need students to share their screens. You can enable this as needed from the Zoom app itself. This is just your default meeting setting. The same goes for the whiteboard and annotations. Use these with caution. We also recommend enabling nonverbal feedback. This is a great way to keep your participants engaged and gather quick feedback. Keep scrolling and you'll see allow removed participants to rejoin. We recommend making sure this setting is off. If you have to kick someone out of a meeting, you don't want them coming right back. This brings us to some advanced settings. We recommend having breakout rooms enabled so you have the option to use them, but please use them with extreme caution. You can only sit in on one breakout room at a time, so if you use these, our recommendation is to have a co-host with every group. You definitely don't want unsupervised groups right now. Most of these other settings are self-explanatory and common sense, but one you probably want to take advantage of is the virtual background. There are some default images, but you can way up your game with the video or custom background. You can make these easily with Canva or other image editing software. The benefit to virtual backgrounds is they can help minimize distractions as you work from home. Make sure you have the most recent version of Zoom installed on your device to take full advantage. You probably don't even need a green screen. Keep scrolling and you'll see the waiting room. You cannot enable this feature fast enough. It should be enabled by default, but you want to make sure this is on for all participants because we don't have students with Zoom K-12 accounts. Check out this blog post for more details on how this feature works. This is one of your frontline defenses against Zoom bombing. In the interest of accessibility, enable Join from Browser. A final recommendation is to lock your Zoom meeting once everyone is in. Find out how to do this with Zoom's meeting controls tutorial around 4 minutes into the video. Okay, so I know that was a lot, but hopefully this helps you get more familiar with your Zoom features. If you have questions, feel free to email me or your building's digital educator, or check out any of Zoom's fantastic tutorials. Thanks for watching.